Good morning to all of you. It's a great privilege to speak to the educators who shape the industry, who shape the minds of the people. Because winning is, it's in the mind. And the role of preparing the mind is with all the people who are sitting here. The initiative which is taken to share on a collaborative platform, ACT has done. I must congratulate Lakshmi and everybody who is participating and creating this kind of an ecosystem where we are having a sharing of the competencies, sharing of the knowledge, sharing of the mindsets are gathering into one single room. I think it's one of the unique initiatives in the world where 200 universities coming together and say, let's share what best we can do. Industry comes and say that what competencies are required for the industry and go give their programs, give their time and work together in a very collaborative manner. So when I'm given a task of speaking on mind of a winner, I think I have two dilemmas. One is getting into preaching mode, saying there are 7 things you need to do to become a winner, typically a corporate agenda when we speak on it. Or second is some of the things which I may have gone through my life which could be useful. So let me just clear off the first elements which are saying what is a mind of a winner. I think the fundamental things which is required, if we go back by the fundamental skill set, you know everybody needs a skills. A skill become expertise when it is applied multiple times. Then you have to develop a perspective that how various skills and expertise can be applied to solve some business problem. Then you have to generate some ideas from a mystery which is around you, and then you have to align all of them. So this is a 5 element which we call skill, expertise, perspective, ideas, alignment, which in abbreviation we can call SAPIA. The second set of things are which is holding you back, which we call frictional forces in winning, is around doubt. When we are moving forward to take a decision, first frictional force is a doubt. Second frictional force is a conflict. Conflict by definition is just a difference of opinion or difference of perspective or difference of expectation. But we don't respect that conflict is a good thing or a bad thing. So a lot of time we take conflict as a bad thing, not as a good thing, because conflict is the one which drives the behavior change in the human mind. Third thing is around your temperament, the anger which forms the team or don't form the team when you express that power of anger to get the align the people. Fourth is the fear of something doing new, removing the limiting belief. And finally, fifth element is the ego, I know it all syndrome. So in our journey, when you go, or I went in my journey from 83 when I started my career from the college, when I was doing some programming, 83 to 87, 88, we started 86, Nucleus, the first company. I think first thing was a skill, good programming skills, good reusable skills. So those are the fundamental skills which are there. Then somebody has to pull me back from the skill set, says that now Arun, you need to become a manager. You need to change your orbit. So like electrons have an orbit, you need to change the orbit, and next orbit should be where you need to move from to good content provider to a leadership, to managerial leadership. Then for each time when you are changing the orbit, you have to go internal to your mind to change that particular thing. So you don't accept something which is changing, because that creates a vulnerability zone for you. The next stage comes in when 95, 96, when the company start performing. One of my aspirations was there during this journey was that I should have my own company, was the aspiration when I was in college. And by 92, 93, the company was 200 people, so it was more than what I could have ever aspired to be. That 200 people company is a large company for a government servant son without a capital, was a very contentment kind of a situation coming in. Then I attended one session which was a transformational leadership program at Dharamshala, where 12 CEOs came together, and I happened to rub shoulder with the Vikram Lals and Godrej at that point of time, and that was a 3-day residential program. which has given a next push. Otherwise, I was getting into contentment mode. I think the shift in the mind happened that is it for me I'm doing it, or is it the purpose of my doing is more than what I need in my life, but what I can contribute to the humanity. And that time the whole vision shifted. So vision of 2 crore to 10 crore company shifted to 10 crore to 100 crore company. So all the question which came to the mind, which is the most important thing is, did your mind think about the questions which drives your behavior? So first question has to come to your mind. So if question comes to our mind that we need to be making 100 crore company, then the set of questions which comes to mind are very different from set of questions which comes to mind when you have to build 10 crore company. And that's time when you mentioned we have to go to Navlur, the first setup of IT setup. When we say 100 crore company, then we look at it, what is the infrastructure which will be required for 100 crore company? So decision making became much simpler because the direction was 100 crore. Though we were 5 crore company, but we are creating an infrastructure of a 100 crore company when we are 5 crore company. So that makes the decision making simpler, which we call vision in the life. So that was a shift. As soon as we shifted to that vision, the 100 crore become 260 crore on its own, because the empowerment, the decision making in the company, everything shifted. Going to public listed company, raising the capital, all these things become very natural part of it. So that was the orbit shift 2. Orbit shift 3 happens when we were 2000, when the industry was going to the .NET bust or mainframe requirements were not there. So Polaris was not impacted so much, but industry was in question that what is the role model of outsourcing in this. That is the time to take a decision to acquire a company bigger than us. So we were Indian company, and we acquired Citicorp Overseas Software Limited, which was, we were doing $60 million, they were doing $65 million. So the courage to do that, we should acquire as Indian company some multinational company. Normally the trend was that multinational company acquired Indian company. And when we acquired Skozal, for 6 months post acquisition, all the newspaper kept on communicating, Arun Jain has sold his stake in the company and it's been sold to Citibank, sold to Orbitec. And that was a constant struggle for me to fight the battle with media, that it's not Arun Jain sold the company, Arun Jain bought over the company and willing to reduce his equity to minority from 43% to 24%, but having all the management control in place so that one can perform on a larger platform and explore the world better and get into the intellectual property space of Indian IT industry. And that acquisition given us a huge amount of intellectual property which enabled us to take a next leap into the whole journey. But that 6 months time when we were taking the decision, I think it was just reinventing the whole mindset of me. The turbulent is not outside me, turbulent, whatever is perceived by the people, maybe 10% of what turbulent I have gone through in my mindset. The fourth orbit shift which happens is around 2009 or 10, where I start doing the research that high performance, we use the word high performance in the corporate world. What goes inside building a high performance? What are the elements of high performance? So I have to go through the research for 2 years, personal research on every Saturday, Sunday, spending time on learning what makes a learning possible, how the human mind learns, why the people have a 3 learning curve. First learning curve between age of 5 to 20, and then 20-year-old say, I know it all. Then he joins the industry at 23, 24. He is learning very fast from 23 to 35 or 40. And then at that stage, he says, I know it all. And then some of the people stop there, and some people reinvent themselves after 40, and they become the leadership of the industry, and that is the third birth happens for the person in that journey. So how does that process happen? How do we shake the mindset of the people to shift? So like for the students who are in college in final year, you are teaching the final year students or third year students. How do you create that kind of a confidence in them, of fearlessness in them? So confidence to me is nothing but removal of fear. Confidence is natural in the human body. If you remove the fear part of it, it becomes courage. And how do you build a critical thinking for him? How do you build up a communication capability for him? So I call it 4 C's: content, context, connect, and communicate. So the value of the professional in college when he comes to the industry, he increasingly goes up when he can contextualize the content he learnt in the college to problem solving. Then his value goes up when he starts connecting to the customer in influencing the customer behavior or getting the problem solved for the customer. And finally, his value goes up phenomenally higher when he can communicate his ideas to the customer, influence the customer. So this is a graduation which he has to go through in the 4 stages of journey, and where I would like to address this forum, if we can look at some framework. I saw the whole syllabus of it. Very good programs you have designed. I am very appreciative of the soft skill program which is there on presentation skills to every other, some 19 programs on soft skill, some 18 program on technology skills. Phenomenal work ACT has done it. And I think those implementation of those, how do you motivate teacher, how do you motivate faculty, how do you change the mindset of the faculty, how do we bring these teachers to our campuses and shift their mindset to introduce global interaction for them. I think that's the agenda which I want to leave in this talk. That's the agenda. If ICT, ACT or as an industry we can do, we can invite some 50 professors or teachers to our campuses, and how do we shift their mindset? How do we shift that mindset which is a chain reaction? What we shift for teachers has to shift to the students, and that will create a very interesting chain which will lift the IT industry to the next level. Our agenda is the IT industry from India should not be just 200 billion, it should be 300 billion. 100 billion should come from product, 200 billion should come from services. We should be creating the IPs which will be most recognized in the world. So thank you very much for inviting me in this session, for sharing my initial thoughts on winner. So winner is every one of you sitting in this hall is a winner. Winner is in the mind, not outside the mind. Thank you.